In this session, we will learn about sustainable eco-agriculture. This is part of MSD 016, Strategies and Models for Sustainability. Well-known scientist G.H. Brundtland in 1987 published a book entitled Food 2000 Global Policy for Sustainable Agriculture. She pointed out that importance of maintaining the ecological integrity for sustainable productivity. She emphasized that the application of concept of sustainable development ensure food security requires a systematic attention to the renewal of natural resources. This coordinated approach for proper land use and careful planning of water usage and forest exploitation requires a holistic approach focused on ecosystem at all three levels, that is at national level, at regional level and at global levels. Professor M.S. Swaminathan in 1996 gave concept of evergreen revolution. This concept states that increasing productivity in perpetuity without associated ecological harm. In other words, it is sustainable advances in crop productivity per unit of land, per unit of water, per unit of time without any ecological harm. Further, the sustainable farming systems provide multiple avenues for economic and income generation. So, in this session, we will learn about pathways for sustainable agriculture through 6 approaches. The first one is organic agriculture. Organic agriculture is cultivation without any use of chemical input such as mineral fertilizer and chemical pesticides. The second pathway is green agriculture. Green agriculture is a cultivation with the help of integrated pest management, integrated nutrient supply and integrated natural resource management systems. The third one is eco-agriculture, which is based on conservation of soil, water, biodiversity and application of traditional knowledge and ecological prudence. The fourth one is effective microorganism agriculture. This system of farming requires effective microorganism. The fifth one is white agriculture. This is a system of agriculture based on substantial use of microorganisms, particularly fungi. The sixth pathway is one straw revolution. This system of natural farming is done without plowing, without use of chemical fertilizer, weeding and chemical pesticides and herbicides. Let us examine and understand detail of each one of these 6 approaches. The first one is organic agriculture. Organic agriculture strictly avoids chemical inputs like mineral fertilizers and chemical pesticides. International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement, which is also called as a IFOAM, defined organic agriculture as the agriculture systems that promotes environmentally, socially and economically sound production of food and fibers. Organic agriculture is the production system that sustains the health of soil, ecosystem and people. Organic agriculture relies on ecological processes, biodiversity and cycles that are adapted in local condition. It does not involve the use of input that has adverse effects on our ecology and environment. Organic agriculture combines tradition, innovation and science to benefit the shared environment and promote fair relationship and a good quality of life for all people and everyone on this earth. The organic agriculture is based on 4 principles which governs the organic agriculture. The first one is principle of health. Principle of health emphasizes that health of all living systems and organisms, from smallest of soil to the human beings, they all are mutually dependent. So everyone has a equal weightage. Second principle is principle of ecology, which stipulates that organic agriculture should be based on living ecological systems and cycles that should work within, and it should help and sustain them. The third is the principle of fairness. Principle of fairness directs the organic agriculture should build on relationships that ensures fairness, equality, respect, justice in human relations and between the human and other living organisms. It also insists that animals are provided with the conditions and opportunities of life that accord with their philosophy and innate behavior characteristics and their well-being. For example, when we are doing milk production, it should be constrained by cow's need and circumstances and not the way around. Such as we should not use the hormone treatments to boost the milk production. The milk production should be in the natural way of the cow and it should not be artificially treated like that of hormone treatments. The fourth principle is the principle of care. This principle of care stipulates that organic agriculture should be managed in a precautionary and responsible manner to protect the health and well-being of present and future generation as well as our environment. So we need to have a precautionary approach for decision making with regard to the future consequences and plurality of the values and preferences of those which might be affected by the agriculture practices. So the emphasis is on precaution and responsibility and not on the risk assessment, which is considered as a very narrow notion based on narrow scientific or economic appraisal. Organic agriculture does not permit the use of any chemical agents, be it is a fertilizer or pesticide or any transgenic crops in the schedule of organic farming. Organic certification is a very rigorous process. Even a single slight deviation, fraud or a compromise with the stipulation in the production of organic food result in outright rejection of organic certification. In many countries, certification is a serious matter of legislation, and commercial use of the word organic outside the rigorous certification framework is considered to be illegal. The next one is green agriculture. Green agriculture is a system of cultivation with the help of integrated pest management and integrated nutrient supply and integrated natural resource management systems. This is widely practiced and promoted in China. Important feature of green agriculture is that it allows use of minimum essential quantities of mineral fertilizer and chemical pesticides. The green agriculture offers several advantages in the present era of climate change, and when nearly 80% of small farms are located in rain-fed regions. Green agriculture also suits the reclamation of wastelands. Green agriculture has a built-in flexibility that would help to enhance the productivity of small holdings without damage to their long-term production potential. Example of green agriculture is a crop livestock integration and introduction of stem nodulating legumes or pulse crop in the rotation. This will facilitate building up of soil fertility. In this system, large proportion of nitrogen, phosphorus and potash would be replaced in the form of legumes or farmyard manure, vermicompost, thereby enhancing the soil fertility in a natural ways. Both organic and green agriculture strictly forbid the cultivation of genetically engineered transgenic herbicide and insecticidal tolerant crops. The third one is eco-agriculture. McNeely and Schwarr in 2003 have proposed the term eco-agriculture as a strategy to feed the world and save wild biodiversity. Eco-agriculture aims at mutually reinforcing relationships between agriculture productivity and conservation of nature. Eco-agriculture is defined as an approach that brings together agriculture development and conservation of biodiversity as the major objective in the same landscape. So it's basically a integrated approach. Eco-agriculture, they have 6 strategies. The first one is creation of biodiversity reserves that also benefit the local communities. This involves cultivation of several different crops like rice, legumes, oil seeds, vegetable, fruits, fodder crops, and maintenance of farm animals. In this system, the external input are largely organic, such as farmyard manure, vermiform compost, biofertilizers. This system also has rainwater harvesting and management of soil health care as an integral part of the system. In this system, the crop pests are largely managed by biological method to below their economic injury levels. Further, the economic viability is ensured through regular income from composite culture of agriculture, horticulture and plantation crop as well as the farm animals. So this all together will enhance biodiversity of all forms of living organisms, be it agriculture, horticulture, plantation or animal biodiversity. The second strategy of the agriculture is development of habitat network with the agriculture in non-farmed areas. This involves the integration of agriculture landscape in many non-farmed areas with high quality habitat for wild species that are compatible with the farming. Excellent example for this is that traditional farmers, they provide facility for barn owl to contain their destructive rodents. So barn owl can be used to contain the destructive rodents in agriculture. The third strategy of eco-agriculture is reduction or even reversal of conversion of wild lands into agriculture by increasing the farm productivity. The fourth strategy for eco-agriculture is to maintain the agriculture pollution through more resource efficient methods of managing the pest, nutrients and the agriculture waste. This is the basic principle governing all approaches towards a sustainable agriculture, conservation of biodiversity, conservation of health and welfare of all rural women, children and men, constituting especially the farming families, those who are involved in agriculture. The fifth strategy of eco-agriculture is modification of management of soil, water and vegetation resources in order to enhance the habitat quality in and around the farms. Basically, it is adoption of package of farming practices that would improve the structure and fertility of soil. It will improve the rainwater harvesting. It will improve the conservation and sustainable management and promote a mixed dynamic farming system which integrates diverse food and forage crops with the farm animals and even the fish wherever it is feasible. Such kind of integration is based on the principle that nature has a principle of cooperation, symbiosis and harmony that are aligned to accelerated economic development in the market economy. The sixth strategy of eco-agriculture is based on modification of farming ecosystems to mimic the natural ecosystems. In this case, economically useful trees, shrubs and perennial grasses are integrated into the farm in the way that it mimics the natural vegetative structure and ecological function to create a suitable habitat niche for the wildlife. An excellent example is coffee plantation. This coffee plantation requires shade for greater production. So, a coffee plantation with several different tree species can provide shade to the coffee plants. Further, it will also naturally attract a large number of species of insects, birds and small animals. Thus, this combination will conserve and also enhance the biodiversity of that particular area. The next strategy is effective microorganisms. Amazing gains in agriculture productivity can be done by application of effective microorganisms. This has been described by IGNOU in 1994. It has also solves environmentally and health problems associated with chemical fertilizer. The effective microorganisms comes in 4 varieties that has numbered effective microorganisms through 1 to 4. Each type has a distinct features and properties. Effective microorganism 2 features mainly gram-positive actinomyces. The major content of the effective microorganism 3 is photosynthetic bacteria, and the fourth effective management is lactic bacteria and yeast. So, the effective microorganisms exhibits all the 3 properties found in effective microorganisms second, effective microorganisms third, effective microorganism fourth. So, the effective microorganism first is mixture of all 3 microorganisms. Each of the 4 types is more appropriate to certain uses. The appropriateness of each depends on the activity of dominant species of microorganisms in the mix. The other feature of effective microorganism system of agriculture are the rice cultivation involve direct planting without any tillage and weeding. Untreated cow dung forms as a bulk of the fertilizer. The effective microorganism agriculture improves the quality of fruits and reduces the cost of external input by about 1/5 of the total cost otherwise. effective microorganisms also turns barren soil into rich and fertile land once again. Let us understand about one straw revolution. Misanbo Fukuoka in Japan developed a system of natural farming called as a one straw revolution in 1978. This system of natural farming has four cardinal principles. The first one is no plowing or turning the soil. Second one is no usage of chemical fertilizer or prepared compost. The third one is no weeding by tillage or herbicides, as it believes in the concept that weeds play a part in building the soil fertility. So they need to be controlled and not eliminated. It does not depend on any of the chemical or poisonous pesticide. This concept is based on conviction that earth cultivates itself naturally by means of penetration of plant roots and the activity of microorganisms, small animals and earthworms. When the farm is left for itself, the soil maintains its fertility naturally in accordance with the orderly cycle of plant and animal life. So, soil has a capability to maintain its fertility. This system also believes that weeds play an important role in building the soil fertility and balancing the biological community. Next one is white agriculture. White agriculture was identified by Stevenson in 2004. White agriculture is system of agriculture which is based on substantial use of microorganisms, particularly fungi. The concept of white agriculture took shape in 1986 in China. White agriculture, it refers to the white coated scientist and technician which performs high tech processes to produce food directly from microorganisms or to use them and improve and augment the green agriculture. The principle of linking different forms of eco-agriculture is to ensure that productivity of small holdings without damage to their long-term production potential. When we see in natural way, crop livestock integration and introduction of stem nodulating legumes such as Sesbania robusta and pulse crop in rotation, they raises the fertilizer trees which help in maintaining the soil structure and soil fertility. Various forms of eco-agriculture use biological software, that is biofertilizer and biopesticides instead of chemical fertilizer and chemical pesticides. The production of biological software using eco-technological approach by landless rural women is an eco-enterprise with the income generation. Thus, evergreen revolution links with the eco-technologies which are driven from on-farm, off-farm and non-farm livelihood within the bio-village paradigm. In the realm of eco-agriculture, the evergreen revolution keeps on integrated newer approaches in technology through designing of farming systems under normal condition as well as under unique or special circumstances such as those of sea level rise or salinization or extreme water and weather related events. So, sustaining agriculture is a continuous and evolving process. So, in this session we have learned about various pathways of sustainable agriculture in the form of organic agriculture, green agriculture, eco agriculture, effective microorganism agriculture, white agriculture and one straw revolution. Thank you and happy learning to all.